Hey guys, Thrift Store Dave here. Very excited because today I've got a pick that was free of charge. A previous estate sale that I got to pick and pay for items was concluded over the weekend, and the runner of the sale, who's friends with me, said, "We're throwing everything out, come get what you want." So I've got a trunk full of goodies. I'm taking this trunk of goodies to the post office to help make room for the stuff that I just bought. So this is a part of what I was able to get. I filled the trunk. I've already brought 3 bags in, and this is the stuff that I've still yet to bring inside. Okay, having had a little time to go through things, I'll show you just some of the spare airplane parts stuff that I'm gonna try to sell on Facebook Marketplace. Bunch of parts of planes, bunch of rods, fuel tanks, one entire like little mini plane. Going over here, we've got a bunch of cones to planes. This box had some engine blocks, but also tons of tires. These are valuable in themselves, so someone who likes parts is gonna get excited over those. In here, we've got some controllers and some servos. And then in here, there were also a bunch of servos. And so I think someone who likes the gadgetry will be able to get a lot quickly. And then someone who wants lots of little parts to connect all of that will like the original tool case of everything. So I've got a bunch of stuff within here, gonna do great. Plus also have a bunch of individual things that I'm gonna sell online probably. So let's go inside and I'll show you that. All right guys, so now I'm inside, have had a little more time to sort through stuff, and I think I'm gonna do this in segments. The first is gonna be the rest of the airplane stuff. Then I'm gonna go into other rooms of the estate that I was able to pick through and get goodies from. So there were a few other things like from the car trunk, like gas tanks, or rather, yeah, I guess these are fuel tanks, but they're not super valuable. So I'm gonna include those in the lot that I was gonna put on Facebook Marketplace. However, and actually one other cool like leather bound thing. So it's gonna look cool too, whoever buys everything. As far as things I'm going to sell individually on eBay, I found some really interesting pieces. I was able to get a scale pilot head, which is the person that fits in a large scale plane, and this will probably fetch about $20. So very happy about that. There's also a high quality tachometer, so you can check the wind. All I have to do is put batteries in and make sure this works. Pretty much everything I'm going to show you gets at least 20 bucks. So found some really good treasure here. A jeweled movement model incidence meter. Don't even know what this does, but they're worth $20. So don't care what it does, gonna sell it. Was able to find some small pieces that go in the $15 to $20 range also. These are some aluminum engine mounts for a model plane. And again, these are hard to come by. Everything's costly when you're building these. People are very dedicated to their hobby. As well as a couple individually packed plane wheels and tires. So these are individually packed. I think I'll be able to do well online with them. Whereas the box of a bunch of them, I think I'm going to do better on Marketplace because these are lightweight, easy to ship. Those are not. So very happy with that. Another tool that you use for model airplane related stuff is a type of sealing iron. Okay, so these, as weird as they look, they heat up and they apply the plastic coating to model airplanes. So now I know what these tools are like, and I could probably get, again, $20 for this piece as well. Looking around, I also was able to look for a bunch of battery chargers, because when people are flying RC planes, they run out of battery, so they often keep extra chargers on hand. And even the vintage ones seem to go for a good buck. And so there were probably 4 or 5 of these. And these also can fetch 20 or more, even in use condition online. So very happy about that. I have to figure out if I want to bundle them or if I want to do them individually over time. But my thinking is the winter is going to be a good time to sell out of these things because people are working on building their things that they're going to play with in the spring when the weather's nice again. So a bunch of those as well. So I'm looking at probably $200 worth of just RC airplane parts stuff conservatively, for again, the price of having driven there and back of my time. And again, this is my hobby, it's my side gig, so I'm really enjoying it. This was just such a positive experience. So I'm gonna pause now and I'm gonna pull out a few other items that I got at the same pick, and so you can see what else I have and what I can possibly sell it for. Okay, I'm back and organized with a whole bunch of other goodies. This was mainly from the living room area. So we'll start with a couple of silver plate items. This was a dish or a tray by Baldwin Silver Plate. I believe it was used as an olive tray because there's a glass insert. So I'm going to do a little bit of homework and see what I can get for that. But again, the price was $0. I had to grab it. I'll see what I can get for it. One other piece of silver plate that I was able to get was this really pretty shell. And again, silver plate, it opens. It's got a name of a designer. So I'm going to see what I can get for that. It could be a candy dish or something like that. They couldn't sell it for $4 at the estate sale, so I'm a little skeptical, but again, I couldn't beat the price. There were a few other plain things. One leftover thing, one holdover from the garage, was a spray can painter. These go in the $15 range, so another good purchase there. And then there was this interesting flight simulator thing. So it's by Microsoft. It's for airplane flight simulation. It's called Sidewinder Precision Pro. Of course, it's Windows 95, so it's very old, but even these go for $20 online. So I might be able to sell it to someone who wants to replace their old one. And what is paired with it is this thing called a Real Flight RC Flight Simulator. It's the G4 edition, and you would connect this to the computer, and these also go for $30 to $40. So my thought is if I bundle them together, someone might be able to grab them. It comes with the original DVD kit, because this person was meticulous in this collection. So very impressive, and it's kind of helping me as far as the disposition of these items. In the same room, I was able to find some books. I ended up grabbing 2 bags worth of books because sometimes now that I have a store, I can sit on them for a longer period of time. And if someone wants a really old but interesting book, they can get one. Kind of like this one. It's the military aircraft book from planes up to 1980. So sometimes these hardcover books with good binding can fetch up to $20 a piece. I'll do homework on the books individually, but I also grabbed some really old ones. And again, my hope is if one of these hits, then it was worth it. And then this one, I actually did some homework while I was there. It's called the Machinery's Handbook. So it's an old engineer's book, and there's lots of different pages about strength of materials, gears, bearings, mathematical tables. These are actually quite collectible, and this might go for $15 to $20 on its own. So the books were a pleasant surprise. And then I also was able to grab a few watches as well. Again, none of them super designer, but in the reselling that I do, I often will have lots of things. And so I can add these to a lot because I have zero cost basis. So very, very happy that I found that. I think that recaps all of the living room items. There was one other room that was a bedroom that had some AV equipment. So let me get organized and I'll show you what I found in that room to end the video. Okay, for the last segment of the video, I'm going to end with some toys and AV equipment. So I found a plush that dates to 1999, and it's a Fisher-Price plush. This has gone online for $15 on its own. This one's a little stained, so I'm going to try to actually run it through the Wash on Delicate and see if it works. If not, again, I have $0 invested. Other toy that I was able to get was a VTech electric guitar. It's got to plug in batteries, make sure that this works, but these usually have a pretty decent resale value. If not on eBay, then on Facebook Marketplace. So we'll see what I'll get for that. Moving on to some AV equipment, this was really cool. I don't have any VHS tapes, but some people still do, and some people need to rewind them with a vintage Sony car rewinder. So I thought this was really cool. This should go for $15 or $20, but its uniqueness, I think, is what's going to draw people to it. Even if they don't use it for rewinding purposes, they'll have a really cool relic of the VHS era. And with more people buying VHS, there could be a chance that they'll even use it. Oh, a couple other toys forgot about. There are a couple dolls that were also untouched from the sale. One because they marked it for $42 and no one wanted to pay that much for it. But it's an old doll. My friend who was inviting me to pick had pointed out that this was, I believe, her grandmother's doll. So I'm gonna do a bit more homework on this and see if I can get a good chunk of change for it. With a lot of the totals of these things adding up, I do feel like I will be sending a check of some of the proceeds to the family just because this was so generous of them, and I continue to find more interesting items. So there's one doll here, and then the other one that I found actually has ceramic feet. That's what you hear clanging, are the legs of this doll. And again, need to do some homework to figure out what types of dolls have ceramic hands and what makers. If anyone watching this video knows, please comments in the comment section. Help me get educated on these, because this is out of my comfort zone. But again, with a cost basis of $0, it's in my comfort zone. All right, a couple more AV things and then we'll be done. I found an old digital camera and I was able to put batteries in and prove that it works, an Olympus. And this precise model, there have been recent comps in the $20 to $30 range. So again, a lot of $20 bills here with no cost basis. There's a lot of room for me to make profit. And along those same lines, got a realistic tape recorder. And these are starting to become more popular because people, I believe there's an artist right now that's getting popular by recording his music with tape recorders. So this is kind of cool. And then the last thing I have, two more things. One was a vintage atomic era swing line stapler. So I'm going to clean this up a little bit. This could go for $10 to $20. It's a little heavy. I want to see if there's any demand for this on Marketplace, but otherwise I know I'll sell it eventually on eBay. And then the last piece, this I thought was super, super cool. It is an old dictaphone that probably dates to the 70s or the 80s. If you ever watched Home Alone, Talkboy was kind of a reinvented dictaphone for the 90s. So I put in batteries, it does work. You can see it's running right now. And very cool piece. What's also cool about it is it comes with its original owner's manual, and it comes with a 5-pack of micro cassettes that have been unused. So I think to the right person, this could be a good $40 profit. So very excited about my my dictaphone. So again, this was a honey hole as far as the ability to go to an estate and help with a clean out, and just get a bunch of goodies that I can learn about in the process and then resell. If you'd like to see what some of these go for, please check out my eBay channel. We now have an eBay store that we opened up just recently. It's also LC208, but now that we have enough inventory, it's worth the monthly cost to have an eBay store. So please check it out. Please like this video if you've enjoyed it. Please subscribe if you haven't, and you enjoy looking at different things that I pick and learn about. So when you go picking, you'll know what to look for yourselves. So thanks again for tuning in. I'll see you guys again next week. I'm Thrift Store Dave.